Welcome back to another stream, to another video. Um, I'm trying to do these more. I don't know why. I just feel very motivated to record these talks a little more. Um, let's just talk about my morning. I woke to people, not even people, a person yelling outside, crashing out, trying to fight these other people that were not coming outside. It was retarded, honestly. Um, but what was interesting, she was picking up her two kids, one was a toddler, one's a child, one's like probably a 2 year old. One's a little older than a toddler, probably. Um, and she puts them in the car, and then she like literally wanders around her car for like an hour, trying to like get these people to come outside to like fight or I don't even know, man. She's cussing up a storm. She's saying all these things about how she's rich and these people are broke and whatnot, um, and I just sat there and listened. I literally woke up to this. I didn't do anything before. Like I literally was sleeping and woke up to just this. And then so I sat next to my window and just listened while I woke up. And I was like, "Are you serious?" And it literally lasted over an hour. It felt like. I think it ties into a lot of my thoughts in the world because you, when we sit here and talk about kind of what we're seeing as individuals, and it's easy to get into these patterns of speaking where you're just talking about people being angry, crashing out, if you will, and kind of just going off the deep end of anger and their hatred. Um, and it's easy to just like label, just find a situation and just bash it, right? My goal is to kind of bring in a generalization of what that is doing because I'm seeing it all the time now. I really am. Um, keep in mind, she was black. I'm not racist or anything. You always have to say that in these contexts, but just if you want to think about it. Um, I think when you strive for your hatred and your anger, you sort of put your attention on these concepts and these sort of words uh, that ignite the anger, the hatred in you. But you would think that there's like a justified reason for anger and hatred because usually people do have reasons for it, right? And like it's okay to be angry, and I think it's okay to hate something at a time, or to really dislike it. But what I'm noticing is that this being angry, um, and having hatred in your everyday life as um, the fuel for why you're getting up, why you're doing your thing, and for instance, if like, let's say you're really proud of all your money and you think other people are broke, right? It would make sense to like have an angry mindset or to move out of hatred when your goal is to just obtain money. Like it just makes sense in my eyes, um, because I think when you strive for this, not even contentment, but when you strive for um, power in terms that are not directly related to your autonomy and your willpower, or to just your will, your acting will, and you kind of strive for power in these like superficial thoughts. Acknowledgement is what um, holds your world together in that moment. Simply acknowledging their anger or hatred, or uh, their reason for their living. And you'll find that most people are not, I would say unable, but unwilling to communicate with people who um, are not sitting there validating their internal imaginative or imaginative um, story or fantasy that they're telling themselves to justify their anger or hatred or whatever they're feeling. Um, I wrote this the other day or yesterday or something. I wrote, the world of imagination makes up more of our daily lives than scientific knowledge. I would say something, I don't know who said it. I really don't. I listened to a lot of people, but it was something along the lines of if the best way if our best ways of explaining the world and earth and the universe are incomprehensible to the average person, what's it worth? Or what's it really doing? You know? Um, I think I, I think what I'm going to kind of stem from these, the topic I was just talking about is talking about intention. Um, the integrity of your intention cannot be compromised if you do not allow it to be compromised. And I think intention nowadays is forgotten. Um, it's been left behind in some stance, some way, um, where your actions are more your actions are more interchangeable with currency and a reward system than it is for the intention behind it. So just actions in general are very small to the individuals because they're getting their intention and their power from uh, other things um, that is not necessarily just giving a reward or financial gain or currency, because that's where our true power lies, within ourselves. Even if you're not consciously aware of what you're doing in your own intention, um, people eventually have to come to that realization, or that process of thinking where you have to justify your actions with kind of this victim mindset that is simply giving away your power and victimizing your situation always, instead of taking your intention. You are sort of victimizing others for their intention. And I think that's what the common person nowadays, like, that's their mindset. So the intention of actions in general, of creation, it it gives a person power. Now, I ask you this, and I'll probably leave it here because I think I hit a good little stride. But now, what is if the intention of everyone's lives is to be content and live in convenience? What's going to be created?